Hey guys, it's James, and today I wanted to take a look at 10 of the most popular covered call, or they also call them buy right ETFs. ETFs that are designed to give you a high dividend yield. And I wanted to analyze these 10 different ETFs in a way, seeing how fast each one would get me to $100,000 in my portfolio, taking into account reinvesting the dividend and as well as the market price appreciation. Now what I'm going to do is look at the 6-month, the 1 year, the 3-year, and the 5-year growth rates and try to determine what a good cumulative annual growth rate would be, and then see how fast I can reach $100,000 with each of these different income ETFs and see which one actually will come out on top. We'll also look at the historical comparison of all of these ETFs all graphed onto one same graph. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and watch until the end of the video. And I do have 2 bonus funds that I want to see if they would be a better option than investing in these any of these income ETFs at all. And by the end of the video, hopefully you will see which income ETF comes out on top. Now, the income ETFs we're going to be talking about, I'll go ahead and jump over to my spreadsheet and I'll show you the 10 different income ETFs that we're going to be looking at. And we'll do that right now. Okay, so we are over on a little spreadsheet that I put together myself, and it has just a various different ETFs, and right now I currently only have 123. You can get access to this spreadsheet over on my Patreon if you'd like, but what I'm going to do here is look at the ETFs that have any type of indication of income in them, or any type of premium income or options income, risk managed income, and what comes out is these funds right here, these 10 different funds: QYLD, XYLD, RYLD, QYLG, XYLG, NUSI, JEPI, QRMI, XRMI, BQN, PQ, and DEVO is also in here. So let's see if we missed one. Dividend income, there you go. So DEVO is also part of the mixed. So right here are the dividend yields for these various different funds. Now this is just scraping from FinViz, the website FinViz. So for some reason it is not being able to pull these data points right here. But I also have a 1-year, 3-year, 5-year, and 10-year CAGR calculation. If there is an error here, that just means the fund could possibly not have been in the market for this time period, where these funds right here, QRMI and XRMI, they're only 6 months old, so it's not able to pull a 1-year CAGR number. So these are the funds we are going to be looking at. Over on my spreadsheet, I already went ahead and put in, this is my portfolio future value calculator. I put in all in the white boxes are my inputs. So inputs here, here, and here. We have our monthly edition at $500 a month, our initial deposit at $10,000. So we'll keep that the same for the calculation, and then trying to determine how much dividends per month we would like to receive. This is a portion of the calculator, but what we are going to be looking at is this portion of the calculator. We are going to be looking at how fast a 100% holding of QYLD, XYLD, and RYLD with these dividend yields and these CAGR numbers, how fast that is going to get our portfolio value to 100. So there are 10 current funds or buy right indexes we would like to analyze here, and I have already put in the dividend yield numbers here. I just want to show you very quickly how I came to the CAGR number for each of these different funds right here. Some of these funds don't have a large history, but I try to keep it standard, determining the CAGR number for each of these different funds. Coming over to QYLD, what I did was, just for example, for QYLD, I came over to the Momentum tab on Seeking Alpha and then looked at their annual returns. So the longest price performance return that QYLD currently shows is negative 18% for 3 years. So I took that 18% divided by 3 and got that 6.05 number. I did the very similar thing, took the longest price performance number if it went out to 5 years or 10 years and found an annualized number, and I came to the conclusion that XYLD would have a CAGR of -1.5%, RYLD would have a CAGR of -4.5%, and so on for the rest of these funds. So I went ahead and also already crunched the numbers. I did 100% holding for each and every one of these funds. So for example, I did 100%, came over to my data and found that here in column X, Y, and Z, if I reinvested the dividends here, and how fast would my total overall balance reach $100,000? Well, you would reach $100,000 in year 11 to 12. That is how fast QYLD would allow me to reach if I only invested in QYLD and reinvested the dividends. Just for another example, I'm not going to run through all of these here. I already calculated them all, and I'll show you them on another spreadsheet. Just for instance, Devo here, 100% Devo. If we came over and we reinvested the dividends, it would take us 7 to 8 years to be able to reach $100,000 with a $500 monthly addition and a $10,000 initial deposit. I added these two other funds here because back over on my ETF screener, when I put in income here, now this isn't an income based on buy right options or an option call like some of these other funds here, where this is a covered call or some type of options play. They just, in their name, they have an income fund. So this fund is geared more towards what the purpose or strategy of these funds are for someone possibly in retirement who wants income coming off of their investments, but also wanting some growth. And the purpose of this fund over on Vanguard's website was to track the S&P or outperform the S&P 500, which if you dig into the numbers, they do not outperform the S&P 500. They slightly underperform with the dividends reinvested. Now, if you bought this fund, your purpose of purchasing this fund is probably to be able to receive a decent 6% yield, and then it would severely underperform VOO or an S&P 500 fund. And another downside to VQNPX is you only can purchase it on Vanguard, and you need at least $3,000 invested. So before we look at the numbers to see how fast each of these funds reached $100,000, let's go over to another website called Bar Chart, and I want to look at the 6-month history, the 1 year, the 3 year, and the 5 year, and see which fund came out on top. I have already done the analysis, and I've already recorded which fund comes out first, second, and third, and recorded that. But I just want to show you here, one fund continues, the funds 1 and 2 continue to stay on top and are probably your best choice for an income fund. So for the 6-month historical part of this graph, you can see in the orange over the past 6 months, Devo in the orange has lost about 1.38% in value over the past 3 months if you invested the same amount 6 months ago. And then JEPI comes in second, and then XYLD comes in third. And if you want to pause the video and see which are the remaining sequences of the rest of the funds, you can. I did not include QRMI and XRMI as the funds are less than a year old, and it started to become difficult as we spread the graph out farther. And you can only put in, I believe it was 9 or 10 funds at one time, so I left off QRMI and XRMI. So looking at the 1 year history, you can see, again, Devo is in first place. If you invested the same amount a year ago, Devo would have you at a negative 0.65%. And again, guys, this is just the market price performance. As far as I know, there's no dividends in this, so you would have a positive overall portfolio if you reinvested dividends. So Devo is first, JEPI is second, and third comes XYLG. So after the 3-year price performance, again, 3-year price performance, we start getting into where some of the funds actually didn't even start 3 years ago. And it looks like NUSI started here behind the 8 ball, the rest of these funds. So if you go all the way 3 years in the future, starting 3 years ago, if you invested the same amount in these various funds, Devo would come out on top with VQNPX and JEPI coming in third, and that was the 3-year price history. So you can see the trend here. Devo and JEPI are the long-standing, very decent market price growth and good options strategy that allows you to have a good dividend yield. And then if you go 5 years in the past, it looks like there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 funds were actually began 5 years ago. One being QYLD, the second being XYLD, Devo, and VNQPX. If we go all the way 5 years later, Devo, just market price, Devo did outperform VQNPX, and JEPI was third. But it's pretty phenomenal that JEPI only started about 2 years ago, and already, if you look at the top row right here, if you look up here, you can see the percentage. As I scroll right here, JEPI is starting out at 0%. VNQPX has already started out at a 7% advantage, and JEPI still climbs to third place, if that makes any sense to you. So going back to the spreadsheet here, after running all the numbers of having a 100% holding of each of these funds here, the numbers come out where if we are only looking at the funds that are employing options strategies to be able to achieve their dividends, you can see the top performing fund is Devo, as expected from our historical price performance. To be able to reach $100,000, it would take about 8 years with Devo. And then coming in second would be RYLD and JEPI, and then, or actually second would be XYLD, and then third would be JEPI and RYLD. And then with the 6-month, 1-year, 3-year, and 5-year price return, remember that graph that we looked at on bar charts here, taking those numbers first, second, and third place. For a 6-month year return, Devo was first, JEPI second, XYLD third. And then again, after a 1-year return, Devo was on top. 3-year and 5-year, Devo remained on top. So if you were to invest in a covered call or an options type strategy fund, Devo would be my choice over all of the others. However, how does that compare to a fund like VQ, NPX, and VOO with dividends reinvested? For a fund like VOO, it would take you 6 years. If you had 100% of your money in VOO, it would take you 6 years to reach $100,000. Coming over here, just to show you the math here, 100% holding a VOO with dividends reinvested at a 1.5%. Their cumulative annual growth rate over the past 10 years has actually averaged to about 21%, with a lot of growth coming in the years of 2000 and 2021. Their total cumulative growth from the past 10 years is 215%, so averaged out over the course of 10 years, 215% averages out to 21.5%. Now, of course, over here, just a few things to consider. Consider recent dividend growth rates. So some of these funds might have a growth rate that is going to eventually outpace some of these other high performing funds. I know QYLD paid a massive, I believe it was a short-term or long-term capital gains distribution in December of 2021, which was a huge 28% dividend yield. So that could inflate the numbers a little bit more in QYLD's favor. And do remember, the dividend yields do fluctuate. I did have to come to a conclusion that the dividend yields that I put here, I got these numbers from the fund website pages or from Seeking Alpha, and came to a good solid consensus of what I feel that the dividend yields would be over the long term. And then also remember, currently we are kind of the market is in a downturn. So if you want to consider working with this calculator, and if you feel maybe QYLD is bottoming out and RYLD, these funds with the highest dividend yields, if you start to see these funds start to increase in their cumulative annual growth rate, or their market price starts to increase, that is going to significantly affect the numbers. However, if the market did increase, do remember funds like VOO, S&P 500 funds, they're going to increase as well. So overall, I do believe buying an index fund is usually the way to go. And then that's also something else to consider is your investing strategy. Like I was just saying, VOO is probably your way to go to be able to invest in an index fund. And it's, for most people, most of my audience, you are probably very far from retirement. So you're going to want to invest in a fund that is going to get you to your number as fast as possible. This is just a $100,000 portfolio. It takes you 6 years. So if it was $1 million portfolio, these numbers would scale. It would probably take you 25 years or so. And then with these other funds, it would probably take you, say, 30 or 35 years. So do remember what your investing strategy is. You might want to be investing in Devo if you are very close to retirement, say 1 to 5 years, and to start to invest in Devo to be able to get some of the dividends that Devo would pay with a good price appreciation. So head down into the comments, let me know what you thought of this video. If you guys want to see more videos like this, let me know. And with that, thanks for watching.